you have that going into the match. It's not the greatest thing. Doesn't matter if you know something or not. It still puts a dark cloud over the whole evening. Still fun. I mean, Mark Calloway, for me, was, for a guy that, I'm not, I mean, we're friends, but I mean, not a best friend, not, not one of my clique buddies or anything like that. He was the best professional experience I've had in all my 16 years in wrestling was a working program with the guy. He was the best, by far. And, go out there and have that match, like the ladder match, and have so many people want to copy it after that is, it's very flattering. And it was a great match. It was fun. I mean, I liked it because it was our idea. Well, I say our, me and Hunter's idea to because we're gonna go with the Taker and what kind of match we so. And I remember saying a cage match, but I remember saying the big one with a roof on it. Right. They made it. They called it the cell, right? And originally, I don't know if you know the old cage. They had the big blue one.
Yeah.
That didn't give, and I told Vince, I don't want that. I want a mesh one because, those are the ones you can really. You couldn't work with that other big son of a bitch at all. It was metal. Was,
right.
You couldn't. You just couldn't work with that cage, right? So eventually, he got rid of that one and gave us the big mesh one, and it was cool. We did that. I remember that day going on the top of Mark saying, "What are you doing up there?" I got an idea. He goes, "Do you want? Can you get my big fat ass up there?" Of course you could, but it was cool. I mean, you could. I liked it because I like it more than the one he had with Mick because it was, 45 minutes. And it told a story more than theirs. Theirs was around two big bumps, and ours told a story. There was a match, and then there was all the other stuff. Our match wasn't defined by what, by two bumps.
Right.
But on Mick's side, I remember him telling me, he's like, "Well, I can't wrestle 45 minutes, so I just figured I would just throw myself on the top of that thing." I remember seeing that, and I was just, oof. I mean, I told him, you're crazy. You win for whatever it is you wanted to win.
Right.
You win for taking the highest one.
Your memories, I'm skipping around a lot now.
Sure.
Cactus Jack and Mankind, your match in Philadelphia.
But yeah, cool.
Right.
Yeah, I would have liked. That's one of the regrets of my career. Is I would have really liked to have done a whole program with Mick. I think he and I could have done some really, really great stuff. But that match also was just a match that just sort of threw together. It was the one thing with doing those pay-per-views every month. A lot of times Vince doesn't really, have a full idea where he's going. So that one was just a match he just threw in there.
Right.
And it turned out, which I think both Mick and I were confident it would be. And after that, said, "Shit, yeah, get us in a program sometime." But we were always, when he was a heel, I was usually a heel, or when he was a babyface, I was a babyface. And I think it's something they probably would have saved for some other time had my career gone on. But no, it was a blast, and I like Mick comes up with some very nifty things. Like during that match, not during the match, but before the match, he said, "How about we do a spot?" Because he had seen a match, I don't know, maybe a year prior to that where I was with Vader, and I got mad because he didn't move.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't move. He was supposed to
next question.
Boom! And I kicked him in the head. I'm sorry. That's a good guy.
Right.
But, so he said, "Well, since you've done that before, let's do a spot where it looks like I fuck up, and you come over, boom, and we sort of get into it." So if you watch during the match, I do a thing where he shoots me in, I go for the reverse cross body, he just walk away, and I come off like, "Damn it," boom, boom, and I punch him. And then we start laying some pretty heavy, stiff shots, and I go to snap mirror, and he looks, boom, then I turn around, and he said, because he said you can just hit him in that mask and it hurts, so he said just throw him in there. So I was just boom, and it looked like some pretty physical shots, and then we continued, but it was a spot we just threw in there, and a lot of people bid on that.
Right.
They thought I got hot again during the match.
Jim Cornette, you had a little program with Cornette. Did you guys actually have any heat kind of scenes?
Yeah. Jim was the traditionalist that didn't like me saying, "Let's go the other way."
Right.
That was the extent of the heat, and
you worked the show for him too when he had Smokey against Lindell,
yes.
right?
Yeah. And That was the only thing. Him just burying me behind the scenes, saying we shouldn't go this way. And fine, I just said to him, look, you got something to say to me, say it to my face. All right, I'm gonna say it to yours. I don't like you. You know, I think you're a prick, and I think that you need to understand that wrestling is changing. You know, you don't have to like it. I don't have to like it.
What do you think about the current direction of wrestling as far as look at WCW now? It's not, you know, a lot of fans don't even think it's wrestling anymore. It's more of, you know, entertainment aspect to it.
Well, I mean, it's very hard to argue with the success.
Right,
you know,
making money.
but like I said, I mean, I can't throw stones because I was one of the guys who wanted to go that way. The only thing is that I still, you know, the wrestler in me still likes, you know, I now watch more Benoit, Jericho, Hardys,
I was going to ask you
Christian,
about that.
Edge. You know, I like to watch that stuff because those guys are still into that. You know, wrestling is sort of getting back to the way it was when I was a rocker, having good matches in the wrestling. And when I first started my singles and being a wrestler, having good matches, and seeing all the main eventers doing nothing but punch and kick and making more money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but that was the stuff that motivated me, you know, to get to there. But that's sort of what happens. It's almost, you know, it's like people. I tried not to do it. I tried not to do it when I finally got there. But I think if I'm to be completely honest with myself, I have to say that even I got pretty, you know, got to a, you know, someone gave me the idea of doing that. And I never wanted to do that, but then was no, do it. They get behind us. Like, all right. So,
Right.
So I sold out to the old, you know,
Right.
when you get to the main event, you know, you don't do all your spectacular stuff. Even though I still tried to wrestle as much as I could. But my entrance and all that stuff became so much more of the match.
Right.
You know, than some other aspects of it. But you got to go. You know, that's the one thing that I did do is I always changed with the times. Whether you like them or you don't, you got to change with them, or you get passed by. And that's what's happened. You know, you've seen it happen to a number of guys.
What is the extent of your injuries? I know one of your final matches in WWF was your match with Undertaker, the casket match in January of '98. What exactly happened? And
Well, I think that's you know, because I've always had back problems, and I heard the disc that eventually I had to get operated on was when I hurt. Gosh, back when I just started my singles career, and you know, it always bothered me. It was bothering me more and more and more up to that match, and I took the backdrop out of the match and I came over and I tried to clear the casket, but I caught the corner of it, bam, on my back. I didn't get up or anything like that. Continued the match, everything was fine. After the match, you know, I was stiff. The next night we did TV. I didn't work, but we just did a little angle, I think, punching, kicking somebody or something to that effect. Went home, went to sleep that night, and I woke up the next day, couldn't move. Frozen in bed, and just called my parents, called the hospital, and by the time my parents, who lived 30 minutes away, got out to my house, I'd made it from my bed, I'd made it about, you know, 12 feet on my, you know, on my side, just trying to inch away. I've never been in so much pain. And I was just frozen. I couldn't move. I was stuck, sort of like in the fetal position, just trying to edge my way out. They came there, Jim rolled me up, took me to the hospital, and the guy just said, no, you're fucked. Apparently it just, you know, had exploded. It just had too much. It had compressed and then just boom, you know, it was just out all over the place. Said my career was over, and I explained to him that, you know, I've got one match I got to make it to. So had him shoot me up with all the cortisone stuff. Called Vince and said, you know, fuck it, it's the operated on. You know, well, gee, what about WrestleMania? I said, well, what I'd like to do is let me stay off that one, the next pay-per-view, the February one. Let me, you know, train. Let me ease this up and train best I can and try to get ready for WrestleMania. I said, I'll drop to Steve. I said, but after that, I think it's time, you know, for you and me to realize that may be my last match. You know, and he was in denial about it being my last match, but I said, I think you really need to, you know, I had a doctor call him, I had him show him everything. I said, I think it's time to really start to, you know, think that.
So it's basically a freak accident, so to speak. It wasn't just,
well, I mean,
your back was acting up, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of times it's already there before you know it, so I'm guessing it was there, but I think that's the only thing I can remember, is that had to be the final blow to make it,
right,
to make it go.
Right.
Wrestling the match with Steve obviously didn't help it any, you know. So whatever damage I did, I only worsened it by going into that match. I mean, if you watch that match, you know, I look slow. I think it's my left leg or my right leg, I'm dragging a little bit. I mean, I couldn't even get up off the ground on my forearm, or and a bump, a little flare bump I took. My feet, my timing was off, and just wasn't, I wasn't there. I took a real horrible backdrop, barely cut over him. So it just, I didn't have much feeling in it. It was just sort of dead. I was dragging, but finished the match and came in and iced it down, and me and Steve wept, and then Vince came in, and we all wept, and then I went home, and that was it. I tried to rehab it for almost a year. About 6 to 8 months, I rehabbed it. The doctor looked at it and said, "No, it ain't happening." So all Vince told him, I said, "It ain't happening. I gotta get it fused, and that's it. I can't work. I'm not, I mean, you can always wrestle if you want to. I mean, I can always go in there and do what I did here, but that wasn't something I wanted to leave behind. I didn't want to be that guy that stayed in longer than he should. That guy that